Welcome back, everyone, to the Myth Machine channel and Delta Green Puppet Shows and Shadow Plays. We don't know what the title refers to yet, or do we? Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. Ask the players. I'm not telling, but we do know that this show is rated R for horrors beyond human comprehension and mature subject matter. So be warned. This is Delta Green. It's a game about destruction of body and soul. And it's not going to go easy on either. The best outcome for an agent is actually to retire when they're very old and die of old age in their house with their minds filled with all the scarring, horrible PTSD stuff they have seen over the years. I think that's the least bad outcome, probably. Before we dive in, of course, because you want to be a member of Delta Green, follow the channel, chat, it's ACL approved, and on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, comment in the comment section, all the stuff that ACL wants from you. You never know if the aliens are listening or not, or the other monsters. Alright, who's with us this time? Everyone, please introduce yourselves.
Darian, playing Special Agent Brian Fenton.
Who is...
I'm Briar, playing Dr. Alex Blair.
medical doctor,
I'm
too.
Harper. Sorry.
Yep.
I'm Harper. I play Franny Talbot.
And last but not
Carol.
least... Sorry.
Playing Bridget DeLuca, who is never leaving the comfort of the indoors again.
Bridget DeLuca will always want to stay in her office cubicle forever from now on, right?
Yes.
You might want to crank up that volume a little bit. Anyway, last time we had a chase of the suspect, Master Sergeant Emmanuel Santana, AWOL from various very special forces, wanted by the Pentagon, the CIA, the FBI, and all the letters in the US letter alphabet soup. There were some false leads, there were some grieving relatives, there were some journalists who wanted answers to questions, which I don't know if that went so well. FBI agents snuck in to the office and snuck out the back door to avoid answering more questions. Evening continued, more tracking, more false alarms. Everybody was at the end of their tethers and ready to start chewing on anything close enough to their mouth. Until there was, in fact, a result. And apparently 3 of the deputies in Group 23 had been killed. And recently, and the race was on, the bloodhounds were crazy, and the suspect was cornered. Gunfight ensued, including helicopter, including assault rifles, including lots of bullets in the air. Deputy went down, but not dead yet. Still need of critical care. And now the deputy wounded, because my die rolls were terrible. I'm going to complain about my die rolls. And then you basically shot the suspect to pieces. The suspect got up and kept shooting and then got shot to pieces again and is no longer moving. DeLuca and Talbot is standing over said suspect, Master Sergeant Santana, Emmanuel Santana. Whatever remains of him, because seriously, there's been so much shooting on this guy. There might be more lead than actual biological tissue in his body at this stage. I guess it would be reminiscent of the way Bonnie and Clyde ended their careers. Yeah, there's a lot of blood. Let's make sure that there's a lot of blood on the ground. There we go. and the rest of everyone, all the other deputies who are still up and standing, including Colorados and Fenton, of course. I have marked you down there, Fenton, as someone who is aiming. So you've taken a turn to aim, but it looks like it's all over. Danger's all over because DeLuca and Talbot are standing right there in the strong light of a flashlight held by the deputy here. They landed the helicopter close by and, yeah, made their final approach. And here we are. The first person who's going to get closer is going to be another deputy who's just right next there. And he's just going to see the scene. And apparently he's okay because he didn't throw up. But he will take his hat off and just generally look down at this sort of mess. Fenton, what do you want to do? I'll start with you.
I am going to approach cautiously. My rifle's still aimed at the body in case it gets back up. Because I don't like when dead people get back up. That's not what dead people are supposed to do.
That makes sense. Briar, you're standing next to the wounded deputy over there.
I already treated him, so I think he's fine.
Yeah, you have indeed already treated him. He's not fine. You would recommend a lot of more hospital, an extended visit to the hospital, but other than
But for now, he's fine.
Yeah.
In this moment, I'm just gonna walk over and join the others.
Very well.
And not get too close.
Everybody is standing a couple of yards away from the remains. There is no movement. It's just...
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
I'm poking it.
Did we check to see if he has a wound on his chest?
I guess you could, yeah. Do you want to move that close? You'd have to start manipulating the dead body, removing the shirt, because it's a mess there. He was dressed in a shirt, and this shirt has been shot so many times that it's turned into rags, more or less. But it's still, because of the bloody mess, not going to be easy to see the chest very well.
Okay, game plan. I would like to start shouting at deputies, giving them orders.
Okay.
To load the wounded into the helicopter, to get them to medical aid as fast as possible, and then to organize and somebody get on the radio and get a hold of the other groups and get us transportation so we can get out of here, being very clear that I want as few other people here as possible. I just want somebody to drive cars out here that we can get in and go home.
So it's almost like we're gonna get everybody away from here in a convenient fashion.
And while they're distracted doing that, I'm looking Blair and be like, check him.
Roll a persuade check, DeLuca. Roll a persuade check. There's so many around here, and everybody is still filled with adrenaline, and it might be tricky to coordinate this exactly the way you want to. And apparently it is. You're just that level of tired. It's not going to be like a complete and utter... You're not going to attract any suspicions, but Colorados will delegate some authorities too. So you're gonna have, let's see now, these two guys are gonna take care of one fellow, and these two guys are gonna take care of another, and then there's gonna be like some other guys who are just not doing anything in particular. Maybe one of them is on the phone to get more stuff around here, but there's gonna be 3 of them who are not occupied with taking care of their fallen, and I guess we need a flashlight here. Colorado's has one if you need one.
We're all just staying in the darkness.
I can see that,
That-
but
That's why my persuade failed. I forgot to tell somebody to give me the flashlight.
probably, yeah. So, Colorado's is here. He has a flashlight, so yeah. Now you have the whole problem with undue witnesses again.
So, how many witnesses are there? Colorado's and 2 other deputies?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
We
The
already told
helicopters,
them.
they're gonna get into the helicopter, all these guys, and take care of, or at least one per wounded, and then the helicopter is gonna start getting those rotors spinning again to get out of here. And
See?
We
Seeing
already
that the...
told them. Sorry.
No, good. I'm sorry. I'll just say, seeing as the 2 deputies are just kind of standing around with seemingly nothing to do, Fenton's just going to give them orders to secure the perimeter and be on the lookout. So they have something to do, and it's an excuse to get them to go maybe 20 feet or 20 yards that way and out of like exact view of what we're doing and looking out for other things.
you know what? Why don't you roll a persuade check too in the
No.
chaos? Everybody everybody is exhausted. There's lots of confusion. People are talking to each other all at the same time. The radios are hissing around you, and look at that! You will, in fact,
Just barely.
that's enough. They will go out and secure the perimeter in case there is a second perpetrator out there, because you don't know. Now it's just Colorado's left, and he's gonna be looking at Santana and just shaking his head. He's taken so much stress lately that I think he's gonna be a bit deflated after all this, probably.
Oh.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest at this point. Do we really need to keep Colorado's that much at a distance out of things? He's been through it all since the beginning. I feel like at this point we should just let him in on them.
Should we offer to be like, hey, you wanna give us your flashlight and you go help your deputies while we examine the body? You're allowed to go look somewhere else.
You know what? I'm fine with that. Why don't we have Blair with the flashlight? Because she is the one
Yeah.
who's supposed to be doing the examination, because she is, in fact, the doctor.
Well,
This is her literal
you-
job.
if you want, Blair, I can hold the light for you so you've got both your hands to do your job.
That is also true.
Yeah. Yeah. Let Fenton hold on to the flashlight.
Fenton will hold the flashlight.
I also passed Colorado's the last sandwich I brought.
That was nice.
Oh.
Buddy.
It's gonna be okay, bud. Alright, rock and roll.
Yeah, Colorado's will, I guess, go and have a smoke. This generation is definitely smoking. All right, Blair. What you want to do with this dead body?
I guess checking the chest. If there's
Well-
anything left of the chest.
There's a lot of bullet wounds, not necessarily in the chest as such, because he was lying down, remember? Most of the bullet wounds have gone to the head, and that's not... That leaves a mark. The head has been turned to a smashed-in melon. There's just
Oh.
blood and brains and various pieces of whatever is inside the head. Teeth, an eyeball, an ear. And then there's going to be some hits to the shoulders too, and the arms, of course, fingers being shot off, and so on. The arms are probably pretty shattered. There's not going to be a lot of unbroken bones in those arms, and the collarbones have been really, dealt
Was
with.
he firing the gun?
At this point, he's not firing the gun, but just because you lose a pinky doesn't mean you can't shoot the gun. As long as his index finger is there and he has a thumb, he can shoot a gun.
That's
No.
why he only hit 2 people.
Yeah, probably. That might very well be the case. But Blair, opening up the shirt, yeah, there is definitely the sign of... It doesn't quite look like the autopsy Y incision that you're. It's more like a V incision or an upside down V around his cage, just below the rib cage, and it's been stitched together with very fine surgical thread.
Ah,
Very
I
nicely
would
done.
like to, while Blair is doing this investigation, shotgun just inches away.
Shotgun into the
should
what?
be.
If this chest begins moving, I'm exploding it.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. Okay, that makes sense. No, the chest is not moving. Not at all. The chest is still.
Should we shoot it anyways? Just to be safe.
Let me step away so I don't get shot in the process.
That would attract a lot of attention and questions at this point because the guy is very dead. I don't know that.
There was a scorpion on his chest.
You'd have to have a
Yeah.
pretty good explanation because at this point you would be in the minds of the deputies and so on desecrating his corpse. As much as they hated him, that's taking it a bit far.
Maybe we should just cremate him instead.
Yeah.
We gotta open him up and make sure that if there is something in there, it's not gonna pop out and get into somebody else during transport.
I don't know if we're going to be able to open this guy up out here. I guess no one's really looking. I don't know. If somebody sees us, it's going to be hard to explain what the hell we're doing.
Well, we can't leave the body unattended with the medical examiner.
Oh no, this body does not leave our sight or our presence, so
Yeah.
we have opened it up.
Just leaving. You saw what leaving the egg alone did.
True.
So say I would.
There's a backpack here too.
There's a. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Shoot it.
No.
I can't keep my eyes on the backpack and the body at the same time.
What's
I
in the
can open
bag?
backpack.
What's
Just
in
open the backpack.
I'll open it.
We're opening up the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the backpack, you find the strange rock that isn't a rock.
Is it still a complete rock?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's not. There's no holes, or something could have climbed out of it. Guys,
What seems to be the case is that a few bullets have probably gone through the backpack. One or two must have in the firefight. But
So
from your point of view, you can't see any marks left on the rock.
So that means that he was the one who went back to the police station and turned all those people's skins inside out on their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it,
Are
but it may
we
actually-
certain we don't want to shoot his body a few more times?
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I think this rock would probably be kept safest if we handed it over to the guys who came looking for the rest of the evidence.
No, I 100% agree. I think
Yeah.
the military clearly knows a lot more about what's going on here, and I don't think there's anything to gain from trying to keep stuff from them.
Yeah. They clearly have the funding to keep this thing contained. So.
I say, when we get back to town, we lock down the body and the egg. We all stay with the egg, and we try to contact the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as soon as I see the egg there, I go from staring intently at the body in case it moves to like glancing around because I'm half expecting the men in suits to just show up now.
Please do. Please take all of this off of our hands.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Stranger things would have happened, right?
I know what we should do. We should just tell the reporters that we found the egg and Santana. Just wait for them to show up and be like, here you go.
That's an option if we all want to get fired.
Yep.
Don't tell them that it's an egg. Just tell them that we found a strange rock.
What was that?
Just tell them that we found a piece of evidence that was taken from the police station when it was attacked. Because they'll know what we're talking about, but the media
Yeah.
won't.
We don't tell the media anything, and then when we
Yeah.
contact the military folks, again, just tell them we found something case related that we think may be of interest to you.
Yeah, but I don't know who we'd exactly call for that. They don't really have a number.
Yeah, that seems like a problem for when we get back to town.
Yeah. Maybe we just find the helicopter and just toss the body and the egg into the helicopter. Peace.
We
mean-
know the one guy was OSI, so you know we can use the. I'm sure there's channels we can go through to eventually get to them.
Yeah.
Very well. To make a long story short, you're going to be out here for a little while because that first chopper went in to deliver the wounded to San Carlos and the local clinic because it's the quickest place really to go. But word has spread that you found the suspect and the gun battle and everything, so literally 200 or 300 people are descending on this spot right now. Not quite that many, but yeah, a lot of people from all the alphabet soup are gonna come here. And within an hour, I don't think it's gonna take even an hour, the other chopper is gonna get here within probably half an hour. And so I think the rally point will be San Carlos, except for some people who will be out here and just putting down some markers around exactly where Santana was found, and they're gonna have to do some work on tracking him back towards San Carlos and see if there's more evidence. So there's gonna be plenty of work for volunteers and tribal police and other local law enforcement, local and state law enforcement to get involved with. I think the FBI agents, when they're soon going to be dismissed because they are not needed anymore, they're not going to be able to apprehend the man and put him in front of a jury for his actions in the 70s. So you're going to be taking point on that. But since this is a federal case now and not a tribal police case anymore, his body is going to get transferred to Phoenix. And I'm thinking you're going to vote for doing it with a chopper so you don't have to drive for hours?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Hey, it's
Yeah,
gonna
but I
burst
think-
out of its chest while we're in the air.
I was gonna ask, are we able to do a autopsy quotation marks while we're still in San Carlos?
You'll have better equipment in Phoenix, but if you absolutely want to, poor Dr. Gutierrez has been... I think that the facilities in San Carlos are overloaded, really.
I should explain to you what I'm saying. It's going to be just us and probably Blair doing the autopsy, basically checking to make sure there's not an alien chest burster in this guy's chest before we all climb into a helicopter with him and fly to Phoenix.
Yeah.
But you're gonna collide into a helicopter with him and fly to San Carlos first in that case. Or
You know what? Beggars can't be choosers.
Fair enough.
Well, I
Beggars
mean,
ca-
kinda
so yeah, that
hesitant.
would limit the number of minutes you're in the air. That's fair. The San Carlos autopsy room is absolutely chock full right now because if you want to have some privacy, I think the Phoenix room would be a better option because of
Okay.
all the
Yeah.
other people who want a piece of the action right now, including journalists. There's literally news vans nearby, so if there's some horrors happening, if there is an alien chestbuster in San Carlos and you start shooting, the reporters are gonna hear it outside.
Part of me was misunderstanding. I thought that we already had to go back to San Carlos first and then go to Phoenix. I didn't realize we were going straight from the field to Phoenix.
No, it's up to you. You can take a helicopter to San Carlos and then go
Yeah.
to Phoenix, but
Oh yeah, let's go to Phoenix. Yeah.
But if you're suspecting there's a chest burster inside San Carlos's body, And you don't want to fire a bunch of guns close to a bunch of news reporters. I'm just saying that Phoenix might be a better place to go.
Yeah,
'Cause they're
let's
not
take
there.
this thing to a. Let's take this sucker to a major population center.
Yes! That's also a great idea. We love this idea.
I've seen this movie. Let's do it.
Fair enough. The reporters are in San Carlos. They're not in Phoenix, but want to stay in San Carlos anyway then?
No, I think it's Phoenix. You're right. Phoenix probably is best. It's just a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah, that you're not going to be surprised to find out that is a common situation in Delta Green in general.
Yeah. Let's just not leave the body unattended, period. Just because.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to speaking to your own sense of security, obviously, before the body is airlifted out of here anywhere, San Carlos or otherwise, there will be a body bag, and someone will lift the body into the body bag and zip it up. Because that's what you do with dead bodies, to preserve them and everything.
Would it be unreasonable to double bag him?
No, not necessarily.
Fenton is very tired and very paranoid right now.
I'm not saying
entire-
you don't have a reason to be.
Just shotgun against the body.
And a shotgun, just in case. Yeah.
These spies are gonna think we're freaks.
It's gonna take a little while then to get back to Phoenix, of course, because you are in fact traveling a while. Be that as it may, I guess we're gonna avoid Dr. Gutierrez this time because he's in fact in San Carlos. So you're gonna have the autopsy all to your onesies because Blair.
Yeah.
Come on,
Very
Blair,
well.
pop them open. See what fun alien surprise we got.
I'm sure it's gonna be easy enough to deal with. It's gonna be something like 330-ish, 340. That grainy feeling that you have inside the eyelids is getting more intense, and more coffee is being consumed. Hobson, of course, is going to intercept you down as you're getting down towards the autopsy. You're basically landing. I'm taking that the helicopter will be landing on top of the Phoenix FBI headquarter roof, and that way you're going to go down to an autopsy room, probably, I don't know, as deep into the building as possible. Hobson will be delighted to see it. You haven't seen him for a while, have you?
Hey, Hobson. If some shady-looking government officials show up, send them our way.
I have no idea what you mean by that, but I can tell you that Pentagon is looking for a whole bunch of stuff. They were waving a bunch of credentials in my face. What kind of evidence do you have associated? Did you bring it? Any
We
personal
brought it
effects?
with us. Yeah, if you could actually contact Pentagon, let them know that we may have something relevant to their investigation, we'd appreciate it.
Very well. Why don't you leave the stuff with me and I'll deal with it for you guys.
Respectfully, sir, we like to keep it with us for now.
This is
Well,
rather
sir-
sensitive stuff.
Sir, the last people we left this with had their faces turned inside out.
He's gonna look very surprised at that. Huh.
We would like the scary government officials to be the ones who take it.
I can be scary.
I'm sure you can, sir. I'm talking like unmarked black helicopter in the middle of the desert, stealing all of our information with so much paperwork. Scary.
Okay, why don't you go lay down on the couch and
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sorry, she's a bit tired.
I don't want his face to be turned inside out.
All right, I'll connect with them anyways and tell them where are you gonna be.
Operating room 5.
Okay, very good. I'll tell them where you are. Good work, agents. Good work. You stopped a seriously dangerous man. This might go down in Arizona history. Much appreciated. He looks very tired too.
Oh,
part of that is being awake for a long time. Another part of that is probably the ears. But yeah, he's gonna...
Would it be rude to ask if he could bring us sandwiches?
I'm sure there's gonna be a secretary around somewhere to do just that.
Snacks, please.
And so it is that you will find yourself in an autopsy room surrounding a very black bag filled with another very black bag filled with the remains of one Master Sergeant Emmanuel Santana.
I'm gonna poke it with my gun and wait for Blair to cut him open.
Yep, time to just cut him open.
Time to just cut him open. Then.
Why do you gotta think so hard about it? It's everything's fine, right? We cut him open and it's
yeah,
empty.
everything is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. No reason to fret at all. You are...
Can I just...
What was that?
Can I just have a jar ready for if this thing jumps out to just stick it in a jar? And...
Jumps out of that. I'm shooting the shotgun that's pressed tightly against the chest.
We couldn't break that egg open with a table saw. I doubt a shotgun's gonna do anything.
I'm assuming that whatever is gonna jump out is gonna be a little bit more fleshy than the egg.
There.
I don't know what you mean.
What if we open him up and there's an egg inside of him? Oh god.
Put us an initiative order. He's a bad man.
Oh no.
I would never.
You did. We could see.
Okay, then. You are opening up.
It failed.
Where'd he get a gun from?
He was just hiding a
You
gun
are
in his
opening up.
chest.
You are opening up the body. I don't know why that showed up like that, but anyway, you're
this
opening up
thing's
the
got a
body,
tiny
and
gun
out
the whole time.
flies a very thin filament. It's like a translucent, reddish tendril that passes by Blair and strikes the lamp above. Clang!
Oh Jesus.
Shoot. I shoot.
And Blair, as you're opened up the body, you can see something in there. It's a reddish thing, fleshy, almost like a cross between a jellyfish and a shrimp.
Ugh.
Gross. I shoot it.
Does it go in the jar?
Not after I shoot it.
And, well, first of all, Blair rolls a sanity check for seeing the thing.
Oh no. Nope. Oh, I'm exhausted. That's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, what else am I rolling?
Roll it. That's not too bad, is it? You're gonna scream or something, because
Yeah,
your body
just-
will react. I don't know if you're freezing or you're just ducking reflexively or if you're screaming.
Yeah.
What do you do?
She's just. Oh my god, what the hell is that? And she ducks, backing away.
Yeah. Talbot is next.
Sorry. What do I roll to put this thing in a jar?
Isn't that an interesting question? I would say... How about a dexterity check? Yeah, just your jar right on top of it.
In the hole.
Of the hole, yeah. And
I
that
can change the
succeeds.
evil.
Even as you are tired, you are also lightning fast. Faster than anyone else around here. And
Briar,
just
don't you dare shoot my hand.
jumps over on top of that chest and puts that jar so it can't easily interfere with any of you. Does that mean that DeLuca is going to shoot through the jar and onto the thing?
Don't you dare.
So look.
Also,
of like,
Talbot, roll a sanity check for seeing it, because that's what you do when you look into the jar. Look, like, because it's a transparent jar. You can't really put the jar there if you don't see the horrible fleshy thing. Oh, then, roll a d6. Let's see how this will go. Oops.
Ow.
So,
Does she still have the jar there?
Ooh.
that's the question, isn't it? You are going to fight, freeze, or flee.
Freeze.
So you're putting down the jar and just standing and looking at the thing. I think because you were prepared to just put the jar down there. So you're putting the jar down and then you're just standing there and freezing. And you will not be able to move until I tell you to. Just staring at that thing in absolute abject horror. Unless you want to expose a bond for some kind of trauma.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah, you could do that.
How much would I lose from a bond?
A D4 points.
I think I'll do it with. I think I'll lose a D4 points from the bond with my father.
Very well. Roll a D4. You lose 1 point. 1 willpower point and 1 point from your dad. But
Just going down the list.
which means that is also now wounded. But this also means that you do not, in fact, lose 5 points. You lose 4 points. And that is exactly the amount of points that allows you to spare yourself from being frozen. So you do not go into shock. Just that close. You've captured the thing under the jar, you think. Blair is now up.
You skipped me.
No, sorry, DeLuca is now up. I'm so sorry. I don't want to skip. Hi.
Gun, shotgun muzzle pressed as close to I can, because if this thing bursts through the jar, I want to shoot it.
That makes
I'm
sense.
just like
We're-
nuzzling the gun up to it, got my finger on the trigger. I'm just like, this doesn't work. And like, make sure your hand's not in the way.
So we're taking a turn to aim a shotgun at this thing. This thing that
Yeah.
is in fact hard pressed to get out of here, really. Blair.
Uh-huh.
Oh, DeLuca. I'm sorry. Why do I forget this all the time? Before Blair gets to do anything, DeLuca, roll your sanity. Who knows? When you see this horrible thing through the jar, you might get so disturbed that, oh my god.
Listen,
Then roll a d6
I'm
sanity.
Being
Oh my
inside.
god.
You might just do the fight thing and shoot it immediately.
Oh god.
Oopsies.
Well,
6
yeah.
sanity points. Is this going to be another Bond who's going to
Oh my
get a bit
God.
massacred?
How much does that reduce the sanity loss?
A d4, so if you roll a 2, you would not, in fact, go into the type of shock that would.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Not to
Yeah.
Mom, obviously, but maybe to Sebastian or DeLuca? Tony?
We'll go with Tony.
Okay. Man, you're all savaging your poor Bonds here. 4
Ooh.
points! So you're gonna have 5 willpower points left, and Tony's gonna go down to a 7, and you are in fact not losing 6 points. Did
No.
we remove the sanity? No, we did not. So you were at 49. You're losing only 2 points. You are not, in fact, gonna go berserk. You're probably gonna go, "Ah!" But not much more than that. Okay. Having established this, now it's Blair's turn to react. We've already rolled your sanity check, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm
Ish.
just gonna step back and just like DeLuca, aim my rifle right at the thing.
Okay, stepping back, grabbing the shotgun, aiming it.
Yep.
Fenton, you're the only one who hasn't stepped up to see what's actually in that body. I'm sure you want to right now.
I can put 2 and 2 together without looking right now of what's happening.
And also
Fenton
because of
is-
the thing that came out of the body, the very thin filament almost.
Nah, that's fine. Fenton is very desperate looking around for anything we can... Okay, he's gonna step forward and take a look to know what he's working with first off.
Okay. Step. Roll.
Soccer.
Oh, that's good, because I'm at my breaking point.
You are at your breaking point. Wow.
Oh,
I have the bad news for you. No, you're not at your breaking point.
I'm
yet.
almost at it, yeah,
yeah.
I'm right there.
I do have the good news for you that you're not actually going to cross it this time. You will lose a sanity point anyway, even succeeding.
fine.
But there will be a spike of adrenaline shooting through you as you see the thing clearly alive inside the body of the messed up body of the Master Sergeant. And now what do you want to do about it?
Question, can I project that 1 point onto a bond?
Yeah, sure.
And so I don't lose any sanity then, but I lose 1 in a bond?
Yeah. Roll a d4.
I'm gonna put it on... Yeah.
Everybody's just savaging each other's bonds today. It's just going to be 2. 1, obviously, because...
Right. I'm going to put on the Arcanum Society, because I feel like he's very slowly not wanting to talk about monsters anymore.
That makes sense. I've seen the real thing, dudes.
Okay, cool. When I look in the chest, how big is this creature? How well contained in the jar is it?
Ish, at best, I would have to say. This thing is... about the size of a folded out tennis ball, maybe. It's like a silvery cluster of ganglia at the nexus of some kind of web of nerve filaments. Exactly, Dutch man of war mixed up with shrimp or something like
Jesus
that.
Christ. Okay, so I lost sanity in real life.
Yeah, it would be, the mass of it is not going to be more than a couple of pounds.
The whole jar could contain it.
Yes. But
Do I see the?
it's going to be
do
a
I
mess
see the?
because there's so many filaments and ganglia, like from a jellyfish, just coming out from everywhere, that you would have to somehow collect all those and force it into the jar. It's a small body, but there's all these little things. You can see that it's just stretching and connecting itself all over to the Master Sergeant's body. And there is a center cluster, right? But there's so many little things poking out, like in a jellyfish. That's why I say jellyfish.
Got it. And they're going in every way. She couldn't just theoretically. She couldn't theoretically just scoop it up while I slam a lid on the top of the jar.
You could, possibly, yeah, you could.
God, be so sad when I shoot your hands off.
I grab a lid and look Talbot in the eyes and go, "Do you think you could scoop it?"
I don't see any other option.
Scoop it! This is not even a, do you think you can scoop it? You're going to grab a jar, you're going to look at Talbot and go, scoop it!
That's going in the quotes, chat.
And if when so I guess I'm gonna hold my action and I'll shout for DeLuca or Blair or somebody to give me a hand. And as soon as she scoops and I see it's in that thing, I'm gonna just slam the jar down, cutting through as many tendrils as I need to, as much force as I can for many of my teammates.
Talbot, are you going to scoop?
Yeah, 1 moment.
I feel like this is also a dexterity maneuver, really, because it's eye-hand coordination and it's a mess, so... Yeah.
Sorry, if we fail, there's 2 shotguns pointing in this direction.
While you're scooping, at the same time, because clearly this creature is smart enough, apparently. There is going to be, you're starting to, you're reaching into the body, scooping up to put it in the jar. And when you do that, it stings you. You can feel there's like a needle that just goes right into your arm.
Oh, cool. She's
Roll
about
a
to...
constitution test minus 40, please. That's on top of your fatigue.
Come on,
She's
Sal,
about to
you're
feel intense pain and terror.
you're full of constitution. You got this.
Exactly. Yeah, you all are gonna see how she is scooping up this thing. It's coming out of Santana's body. It's in the jar, but all these little tentacles coming out of the jar from up top as she's scooping it in. And as she's doing that, one of the tentacles just boom in her hand stings her. And you can see the look of probably shock on her body. You're not going to lose any single hit point from that, Corey Frying Talbot. I don't think. But you are going to feel that sense of numbness from the hand that just spreads really quickly through
Oh no.
your body, and Corey Frying Talbot is sliding down from
Oh.
the operating table completely gunk. Just she's like a jelly
Like-
right now.
With
I guess we know how those victims were paralyzed now.
Yeah, DeLuca.
with my held action, would I have been able to get the lid of the jar before she collapsed, lost the creature?
You can try, certainly. Why don't we roll your dexterity check?
Not very
Which
dexterous.
is right now a 50% because you have lost some points because of you're tired. And then also you have the yeah, okay. That's going to be a miss. So your held action from last turn, you're just trying to throw that lid on. The lid just slits over the massive tentacles and down again. And that's DeLuca. What are you going to do?
How much of the creature is in the jar?
I'm going to say because she actually succeeded on her dex check, I'm going to say a good 80%. And the rest is like a lot of filaments that are touching everything. Like they're writhing around, seemingly trying to feel for its surroundings.
Okay, I would like to shoot what's left in the body.
Go ahead. You have taken a turn to aim. I'm going to say also, however, because I'm an evil handler, that it's a very small thing. Even as you're getting a bonus for your taking aim, that's a plus 20. Target is very small, so that's a minus 40. But the range is point blank, so that's a plus 20. So all things together, you are plus minus 0 to shoot before we count the exhaustion.
Okay.
Just pulling up that shotgun and kablam! And I think it's your nervousness, the adrenaline. You had to adjust it because the jar came up with it, and you're overcompensating a little bit and shooting just above the creature. Bam! Smoke in the entire room.
In case the creature knows English, I'm also gonna shout, "Stop stabbing people."
That's gonna make the whole difference. Blair, you want to shoot too?
Yeah, I'm shooting.
Yeah, much like for the others here, you are point blank, but you didn't actually. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead. It's exactly the same type of roll.
Okay.
Boom! Boom!
Thank God.
Yes.
That is a success. Roll damage.
Wait, which damage am I? That was my white rifle, right?
I don't know what you were shooting with.
I don't know
I
either.
would think so. Yeah, I think you said your rifle. Yeah, so click on the damage on
Alright.
that one. Yeah. 10 points. Splat.
dead.
Center mass. It quivers, even as the jar, too. As you're shooting, you're a little bit lucky here that you're not shooting Fenton, too. The shot just pulverizes the jar. That's just gonna go in a million pieces, making the little thing fly away as well, very all the blood that it has consumed and sucked over how long time that's killing spree that it's been engaging in, it's just gonna splat down on the floor next to Fenton, and Fenton's I was so close to you. If anybody had fumbled, Fenton would have been hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think Fenton would have died. Fenton doesn't have a lot of health.
That. On the other hand, you're very close to medical facilities, so if there's any place you want to get hit, Fenton, it's your turn.
Is it alive?
It's still quivering.
Oh, fuck this. I draw my pistol and just unload.
Okay, unlike the others, you do not have the bonus of having aimed for a turn, but you are shooting at point blank range, so you're still gonna get only a -20 before we count your fatigue.
I don't know if I can actually hit it.
Apparently, you can! Look at that
go.
clutch. Bam! Roll damage.
Go to equipment.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll do it. There is nothing left of that thing. You're just shooting at every little filament and thread and anything you can possibly see.
I am emptying the magazine.
You're absolutely, yeah, bam. And it's just absolutely fragmented across the floor as 1, 2, the other bullets probably just missed because of recoil. It's just gonna be a whole bunch of holes in the floor and possibly in a wall. Who knows?
Man, we're going to have to fill out such an incident report.
Yep.
I got you guys.
How can you put it in a jar?
And Talbot is just lying there on the ground. I don't know how your head is handed up, but you can't even move your eyes. You're just looking at whatever is in front of you.
Roll her onto her back. And she's obviously alive, right? We can see clearly she's still alive and everything.
Oh yeah, she's breathing and
Roll
everything.
her on
Yeah.
her side in case for some reason she vomits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Blair, what's wrong with her?
I'm assuming that just like the other victims, she got paralyzed.
Was there something you could do for her?
I don't know, because was this the unknown chemical or element thing?
Yeah.
Okay, then we can do nothing, because we don't even know what this element chemical stuff is.
Jesus Christ, so we need to get her to a hospital.
There's literally medical facilities here.
We've got our morgue room, but I think we need a real hospital at this point.
Yeah, it might be best to get her to a hospital so they can monitor her at least.
Is there anything? The thing is dead. I would like to check the chest cavity to make sure there's nothing else wiggling in there.
That makes sense. As you are doing this... Wait, are we calling for medical assistance to get Talbot or something to a hospital, Blair?
Yeah, I
As
guess
you're-
while they're looking, I'm calling.
Yeah, that makes sense. None of... Yeah, it hasn't even taken that long. You came down here like 1:45 and you were doing the prep and everybody was getting in dressed for autopsy with your protective clothing and your mask and rubber gloves and the whole 9 yards. And yeah, and now you're lifting up the phone. But even as you're doing this, bam, the door just is slammed open. Everybody on the floor right now! Nobody move! As commandos just burst in.
Oh,
Are they FBI commandos? Or are these like...
They are not
Military.
They're not wearing any markings.
Alright. Hands up.
yep, hands up.
This isn't security.
I don't. Was there anything in the chest moving?
Not that you can see now, DeLuca.
Okay.
They're gonna grab They're literally gonna scoop up whatever remains of this thing in little plastic bags, grab Santana's body, and move out.
Just
did you want,
leave us here.
Seriously?
Yep.
guys, did you want the egg?
Yes, if you have the thing, they're gonna be like, other evidence,
Jester-
hand it over right now.
Backpack and be like, dude,
Yep.
we're cooperating.
They're gonna
chill
grab the
out."
backpack, look inside it. Yep, that's the thing, and they're gonna move.
Do I count as evidence right now?
Apparently not.
That was weird.
They're in and out in a matter of 5 minutes and just gone.
Guys, I requested scary government agents, and I got it.
Yep.
Next time, Q just requests the normal government agents minus the scary part.
No.
Well,
we
they
are
did
the
hear.
government agents.
Well, those other two guys were government agents. I would have rather them than that.
In their defense, they just had heard a bunch of gunshots from in here.
Yeah.
They weren't taking
Yeah,
any
that's true.
chances.
That's fair.
I
So,
give them
but
like
yeah.
5 seconds, and then I go poke my head out the door.
Yeah, but they have Rocky now, DeLuca. I'm sorry. And Talbot, you're not gonna have the Rocky anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, very
I
sad.
don't think I want Rocky anymore.
That might
Can
be
we
a very
put-
sound.
Put it on the little hospital bed thing.
Okay, yeah. 4:10. We're gonna have some paramedics who are gonna come, and I guess all of you are going to a hospital instead. Because oopsies, right? And
It could be worse.
could be
Yeah.
worse.
They could have considered her evidence. That may not have boded well for her.
I'm sure it would have been fun. Within actually half an hour, because you're right in central Phoenix, really, Talbot is whisked off and half an hour even. The alarm goes out from Phoenix FBI at 4 something. You're right next to a hospital, probably very close by at least, because you're in central Phoenix. So Phoenix General Hospital will send out, because it's also for first responders, so extra high priority, an ambulance immediately. So they're going to be there within 15, 20 minutes. And I guess, I don't know if you want to move her at all, or if you're just waiting for it and watching her vitals. Blair is definitely going to notice that her vitals are okay. She's breathing. She has good blood pressure. You have your own little doctor's bag, so you can do preliminary check on her. She has blood pressure that's fine, pulse that is fine. All the vitals seem as they should be. It's just that she can't move at all. And about a few minutes after the paramedics come and start, because they have even more equipment with them, because they're paramedics, they're going to start slipping on all the things and checking her heart and all the stuff with better electronics than you have available in your doctor's bag. But you can follow their procedures and their work really easily. And about 5 minutes later, like this total paralysis, they're checking, they're wondering what it is. But about 5 minutes later, Talbot, your paralysis will start letting go. And you're going to be like, I can blink again and move my eyes. And little by little, sensations come back. First in your face, then your feet, and slowly in the rest of your body. Your hand last of all, where you got the little, poke.
Okay. Guys, while we were waiting for the ambulance, I would like to just gather Fitton and Blair and be like, I need to know what, if anything, you guys plan on saying to the first responders, because I'm preparing the paperwork.
Right now, I think we just tell them there was an incident, and that's all the paramedics need to know. There was an incident.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
deal with the rest later.
I mean,
I know.
Blair-
I'll be right back. I have to go take a work call.
Yeah, Blair doesn't have to give the first responders details. She just has to say, this is the status of the patient.
And
Unknown.
that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, unknown chemical compound. And she doesn't have to say, Talbot was stung by a weird little alien thing. That doesn't really enter into it. It's just, yeah, injected by unknown compound through the hand. That's all. I have a feeling it's gonna.
If Blair's watching Talbot and then the people show up, DeLuca is just going to pull out a little notebook and start writing general outlines, because these people are going to have to do paperwork and she wants to make sure everything matches up to be as least suspicious as possible when we do all of our reports.
You know what? Given your consideration for everything, I think that's gonna allow you to have a bit of a bonus on your bureaucracy roll to compensate for your fatigue at the moment. Also, you had a serious shot of adrenaline only a few moments ago, so that fatigue might be gone for a little while. Who knows?
I'm coming up with ways to describe chest-bursting creatures that are vague and will pass government expectations.
You have destroyed the thing, so you're actually gonna gain a sanity point for having destroyed the thing. At least as far as it's destroyed. It feels like it's destroyed. It wasn't doing anything afterwards, so surely it was destroyed.
Hey, in 6 months, we find out some shady government agent has started doing serial killings.
And we know why.
Yeah. It's probably gonna be 6 in the morning or so. People are starting their days out in Phoenix. And their days are gonna go, nothing special happened in Phoenix. Of course, CNN or other news channels will cover the huge manhunt and say, a major manhunt concluded last night in the Arizona desert. The FBI coordinated several law enforcement agencies, both federal and local, to bring to a close finding the suspect of the Hell's Highway murders. They always have a word, right? They need to have the serial killer something. And then they're we still don't have information of who the suspect was, but etc. DeLuca, I don't know what you're doing, because they want to keep Talbot around for a little bit of observation, obviously, even though by this time you're feeling fine, as far as fine you can feel after this very long night and very long case. But physically, your body is not numb anymore. But your little flip phony thing is gonna ring.
I was expecting that. I answer the phone and go, okay. Hit
Okay.
me.
You hear the woman's voice at the other end.
If you don't tell me your name, I'm calling you Diana.
Okay.
I'm
How about
very
we
sleepy.
meet?
Can we take naps first?
You can take naps first. What about Hall of Flame Museum of Firefighting right here in town? 1 p.m. That gives you 6 hours of sleep. I'll find you.
Like us. About 3 p.m.
All right. I'll find you.
I also checked the phone to see if there was like a caller ID on that.
How would you encrypt that kind of stuff back in 1994? Yeah, there's not going to be a caller ID.
I pulled out my little notebook again, flip to a new page, and write, who do I have to fill out what sort of paperwork to get phone records?
At least you get a chance to sleep a bit. Hobson is going to be fine with you filing the paperwork for this entire case. Such as it is. It's closed now. The Pentagon closed it down. Those guys came by him too. It's out of FBI hands. He's just happy that a serial killer is off the streets and the
Oh,
public is safe
guys.
again. What was that?
And no,
The other government agency took all of our information. We can absolutely fill out these reports basically just saying man killed in gunfire, all evidence taken by other agency.
Yep.
We don't
Yeah,
we can get
it's
away
basically
so
just,
fast.
yeah, to the jurisdiction
It's gonna-
of these agencies. Exactly.
It's gonna
Transferred
be
to.
so easy to do this paperwork. Oh, I'm so happy.
But you don't have to do the paperwork now. You can do it tonight or this afternoon. Or Hobson will give you a break so you can actually go to sleep for 6 hours and regain your... and no longer be exhausted. Isn't that nice?
If any of you do paperwork without me, I will hit you.
noted.
Especially Talbot. I do not trust Talbot.
She's sitting her shotgun pressed against Talbot now.
Fair.
Are you going to insist on doing paperwork now then, DeLuca? Because in that case, you're still exhausted.
No, we can nap first, but I'm just...
Okay.
In my groggy state, I do just threaten everybody. Dire consequences if you try to do paperwork without me.
Fair enough. All right.
If we do 4 different paperworks, then they're gonna ask questions, and then I'm gonna do more paperwork, and I'll hate you all.
Having had a nap, you will all regain 1d6 willpower points if you hadn't already. And of course, you're no longer exhausted. That's good. I want DeLuca to roll a d6 for willpower because she's the only one who is far away, too far away from her max to actually reach her max with a d6 roll.
Stop. What? I just had a small stroke. What is happening? There we go. Okay.
Nice. You're gonna feel a lot better, aren't you? Having rested completely, you now have an appointment apparently with, you called her Diane.
Diana.
Diana. even.
Oh, wait a minute. What year is it?
94.
Google. I have to know if it would be inappropriate to call her princess.
Oh my god. It might.
About a couple years.
Oh, it's another couple of years? Okay, fair enough then.
97.
Yeah, so it's not inappropriate.
God.
Well,
She didn't fight me on Diana's.
she didn't. No, she didn't. Hall of Flame, apparently, right? That
I
is-
appreciate the fun.
That is the Firefighting Museum, in Phoenix. $3 p.m. on a Wednesday. Yeah, it's open. Can't say that there's a lot of people around here because it's a firefighting museum. Who goes to firefighting museums? There might be some stay-at-home moms with their kids because they dream about being firefighters when they grow up, and maybe some kindergartners there with their and so on. But other than that, I don't anticipate. I don't know how well funded this museum is in Phoenix. How many kids' activities they would have. But the person you're gonna meet there, at least, may be easily overlooked for you at first because she's not gonna be, or is she what you imagine her to be? I don't know.
I'm looking for the most Marvel incognito person I can.
A dark-skinned African-American woman in her 30s with trendy, expensive clothes, mirrors, sunglasses, with long dreadlocks?
The sunglasses. We're inside a building.
Yeah.
I'm so suspicious about the sunglasses.
And it's like a
She's
record.
wearing a baseball cap.
She would no baseball cap, but she would definitely fit the description of a record company executive or something. And she'll start the conversation by who is talking, by the way.
If she approaches us, I go, Princess?
You can call me Miss Green. You sound a lot taller on the phone, she says as she shakes your hand.
Wow. I don't know if I want to talk to her anymore. She's mean.
Is she?
Just call me short.
Are you short?
I don't know if I've specified.
I guess you all met with the goons in all the tactical gear yesterday morning, or this morning?
Yeah, how'd you know exactly when they... Because you were like... 30-minute window.
Yeah, I didn't call those guys.
No, you called us like literally within 30 minutes.
I've been keeping an eye out. It's my job. Or it's complicated. I can say this much.
Just who are you?
Miss Green,
Diana Green?
if you want.
That's not how names work usually.
I can say like this. There is a clandestine organization in the intelligence community. It has an unhealthy interest in alien technology. Now, I get that that would have sounded really weird 6 months ago, probably. But then you saw what was curled up in Santana's gut, right?
Nod grimly.
Yeah.
I'm not with those people. Her hands is waving towards the fire engines. The people I work with are more like firefighters. We put out fires before anyone can smell the smoke. If you want to be a part of that, then say so now. But don't say yes unless you're sure, because this one club you don't get to quit.
Hey, question?
Hmm?
Do you have any evidence that you guys are good at putting out fires before people smell the smoke? Because this last week, smoked meat.
We are... I can't say that we have the luxury of great resources. But on the other hand, apparently the public remains unaware of these things. Some measure of success?
Will we actually be helping people, or will we just be put on cases and then removed once it gets too suspicious?
Oh no, you will be the thin green line. You will be the ones between the kind of things you saw in Santana's gut and the general public. You will be the ones who... You might actually have to start a fire to contain a fire.
Is this an exclusively alien thing?
Oh, there's so much awful things out there. Let's just say like this. We've been around since the late 1920s. Started in the Navy. There was a raid up in New England that uncovered some things. I don't know what to call them. I wasn't there. This is way before I started in this. And things in our line of business is very often need to know us. But there were things there that the US government could not turn its eyes away from. And in World War II, it was turned over to another department and changed to focus on threats inside the US. It's a security clearance. It's an interagency task force. Blacker than black. Which means people with top secret clearance do not have clearance for this. But we do have a 70-year record of saving the world.
What happened back in the bayou? What happened out there in the deserts? You guys deal with stuff like that.
Exactly. What happened to you in the bayou was how we first heard of you. We look for reports to recruit people who have seen or experienced this kind of stuff. And then we run a test. Congratulations, you passed. We deal with the elimination and obscuration of dangerous preternatural phenomena. Things that threaten our citizens and our nation's security. We can't allow the existence of these phenomena to come to the public's attention. That would damage to society, the physical, the psychological, it would be catastrophic. So joining, you play by our rules, and rule 1 is deny everything. We don't exist. They don't exist, the things that we guard against. Someday the time may be right to inform the world of the truth, but that day is not today.
I assume we would have some sort of faux official position.
You will stay within the FBI because, believe it or not, about 95% of the time, you'll be working with completely mundane case files within the feds. But every once in a while, your other boss will call you and tell you that, congratulations, you have been invited to a night at the opera. That's our code. And then you know that shit is about to get real. I don't think you'll be doing more than 1 or 2 ops per year, tops, because it takes a mental toll, this stuff, doesn't it?
Kind of lean against the wall and go, yeah, you could say that.
Talbot, I know you've been possibly frustrated with this particular op. What am I doing here? Demolitions expert, and so on and so forth. Let's just say that your expertise in detecting why things have blown up can be very useful in making things blow up when they really have to. And that gets also very handy when it comes to the paperwork afterwards. Because who better to mask something as a gas leak than an expert like yourself? We could really use you.
I understand. You have to understand, I took this job to help people, and I don't want to have to take the mental toll of a case just to be taken off of it and told, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, that's not us.
Amen.
You will solve the case to the best of your ability.
Amen.
There will be compartmentalized security, let's be clear. Your bosses won't tell you everything. But generally speaking, you will be the ones in situ, and you will have to make the calls about how to deal with a threat. And then you will have to, and she turns to DeLuca, make sure that the paperwork doesn't include the preternatural stuff. I feel like you can be very much of an asset there, DeLuca. I know that a lot of people don't like the bureaucracy of things, but one of the things that we thrive on is secrecy, and you can help us maintain that.
Hey, Speaking of paperwork, if we're working on a case for you, and Mr. Black Helicopter shows up,
Oh yeah.
which paperwork is gonna win? Mine or his?
Yeah, about them. As I said, a clandestine organization within the US government that has an unhealthy interest in extraterrestrial technology. They're trying to get this stuff. They're trying to acquire it and study it. We don't do that. We blow it up, okay? If we have another encounter with these guys, you're probably going to be outgunned. My suggestion is avoid. Don't ever let them know your real names. Stay hidden. And destroy any evidence you can before they can get their clammy hands on it.
So I thought you were the clandestine organization of the government. How many clandestine organizations of the government are there?
Let's just
Oh,
say
honey,
that
you
we're
don't-
rivals. But Fenton, I do know that you've been working a lot on understanding the things beyond normal in this world. What with your friends in the Arcanum. Obviously you can't share any of this stuff with them. And while I do appreciate your curiosity and your expertise within the realm of the occult, which is quite frankly invaluable to us, also would advise you to be careful, because some of these things that we encounter and even read up on will be heavy on your mind. It will take a toll. Sometimes it's just better to burn the book.
But isn't there value in better understanding the enemy so you can protect against it?
There is a debate about that. I'm not sure which side I fall on yet. I haven't decided. Quite. I know there are agents within our organization who have managed to do just that. Perhaps you will be
That's
one of
a-
them.
I liked your set things on fire plan better.
What was that?
I like the set things on fire plan better than the let's learn more about them. These guys are crazy.
It's going to be up to you in this situation. Obviously, from many cases, there will be evidence left. You will get instruction for where to put it. Talbot is in. Blair, do I even have to say that medical doctors are invaluable in our field? And the fact that
Yeah,
we would have a medical
I
doctor who we could
understand.
talk to about this
Yeah,
stuff?
I understand.
When someone has their arm ripped off of an unspeakable thing, they don't have to be circumspect around you. That's very good. Are you in, Blair?
Yeah, I suppose I'm in.
DeLuca?
Before I officially say yes, I believe you mentioned a pay raise.
I wish. This is blacker than black. Can't have money transactions linked back to you, to us. You know that better than anyone. You're in bureaucracy. We'd have to mask
So
it.
So you're telling me your secret organization can't pull a string or two and arrange for my normal FBI paycheck to just get a bonus this year?
let's just say that we have a lot of people that we have connections with that could probably arrange for resources to be put at your disposal when needed.
That's good enough to start with.
We're not gonna expect you to pay your flight tickets out of pocket, for example. That would also be weird. Fenton?
After a big long sigh, he'll nod and go, "All right, I'm in."
Very good. Welcome to Delta Green. We'll be in touch. She's gonna give you a blank business card. If you stumble upon something that require attention, call on this phone. You will soon be provided further details about drop points for dead drops, your code names, and the vocabulary needed to operate. And, my friends, if I can just jump out of Miss Green, inhabiting Miss Green for a moment, you're gonna get code names, and you have to choose which cell you're gonna be a part of as players. I'm gonna give you that prerogative. But she's gonna tell you basically, don't follow me, I don't wanna have to embarrass you by ditching you, but she's gonna give you a strange salute with a circle around her right eye as a be seeing you, and she's gonna leave you there to ponder your new world. My friends, you're finally recruited to Delta Green as the latest agents in this organization, whose mission it is to destroy any supernatural threats to government and people. How does that make you feel?
I need to go talk to a therapist.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
That could very well be the case. Let's do the fun thing first, though, because I'm sure you want your code names immediately, right?
Sure.
Sure. Let's see now. You are going to be what cell? So I'm going to list the cell letters here that are, because Delta Green is organized into cells. A cell is the coordinating cell, so every time you speak when you're on a mission, there's two people you can speak to. But either it's going to be your contact in the cell above or below you, or the third person is going to be A cell operatives. Adam or Alphonse, mostly. Code names too. For your purposes, the letters that are available right now are... I'm writing them all down. What? Oh. Didn't I? Oh, I put it in the wrong... Okay, sorry. There we go. There we have it. JKPQRUXZ. Because I'm Canadian, so I say Z. Yeah, horrible. Your code names will be a typical name, like it could be John if you're in J cell, for example. that starts with this letter. It's not going to be something outlandish. It's just going to be something very mundane so you don't draw too much attention. And every name that you have is going to start with the same letter because you're all part of the same cell. So, Blair, do you have an agent name in Delta Green name in your mind? First, which cell do you all want to be in? Let's start with that. Which cell are we picking? Obviously, a cell has picked the cell for you, but I thought as a treat that you as players might want to pick the cell name, the cell letter.
Clearly, we go with the easiest letter to pick names for, X.
Yes, let's do that.
You know what? That was my first cell when I started playing. My character was Agent Xerxes, because that was cool.
The Excel.
X-Files XL, yeah, that was. Yeah. So Fenton is, Darian is voting X. Talbot, what is your vote? No word on Talbot. Are you muted? Yes, Talbot is in fact muted at the moment. So, DeLuca.
Excuse me, just 1 second. Just pulling up the Google thing real quick. Names.
Let's see what chat likes. We have some viewers, maybe? If you want to have an opinion about the cell they should be a part of, now is the time!
I think Z would be better because I want to argue with you over Z versus Z.
Z versus X. That's just an American trying to troll the Canadian, isn't it? Blair?
I have a good argument for it too.
I'm gonna say X, even though I'm trying to look up names that start with X and I'm not having good luck.
I will say, I said X as a joke. I'm not actually attached to this letter. I'm
Oh,
fine
yeah.
with giving another one.
I have no idea, honestly.
We could do Z if that's what DeLuca and everyone else wants.
Sure. Because that might be easier to find names anyway compared to X.
Talbot? Are you there? Still muted. There.
Yeah, Z sounds great.
Oh my god. This is gonna be Z cell. I'm
Z
gonna have to
cell.
call it Z cell because it's an America. Oh, you terrible! His Majesty's English. Oh.
Really, try saying zebra with a Z noise. I dare you.
No, it's still pronounced the same way. It's just you say Z about the letter because it's easier to hear when you're separating it from C.
But it's not how the letter sounds.
It does. Z. 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 Anyway.
No, Ed.
Americans. Z cell. It is. Okay, are we gonna find names for our agents here? What
In
names
progress.
begin with a Z?
How about Zona?
Agent Zona?
Sure.
I guess.
Zelda.
Is that horrifying name? Let's on Z.
Do you want me to spell it in Boundary?
Sure. There's a lot of names on Z. It could be Zoe. Zona. Where is that? What kind of a name is that?
I think it's like an old-timey name.
Okay. Latin's origin belt girdle. First woman to win a Pulitzer Prize in drama, Zona Gale. Yep, it's the name. It exists. Very good. Agent Zona. Okay. Blair, do you have a name in mind?
I almost did, but my tab crashed. I'm
Oh,
trying to
no.
relook up the name. I'm still in Foundry and such. It's just that one tab that I was trying to look up the name crashed.
Fenton, what will your agent name be?
Still looking up names. I'll get back to you on that one.
Oh.
I've never thought about names starting with Z before.
You chose the letter.
Indeed.
Since DeLuca had the idea for this letter, clearly you will have a name in mind.
Zelda.
That's a name, yes.
Oh, I found one. I'm just gonna type it in the Foundry chat.
Agent Zelda. Zaki. Agent Zaki. As it is, the X's are filled with Greek names, by the way. Xantippa and Xylophone and stuff like that. It's fun. But we're not on that now, are we? Xander, Zach, Zion, Zayden?
Hold on, I'm just trying to figure out how to pronounce this word.
Zakai?
I'll do
Zaid?
Zosimus.
Zaid? What was that?
I'll do Zosimus.
Zosimus?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find that?
He's an alchemist from antiquity.
Oh, Agent Zosimus. Oh my god. We have Zaki, Zelda, and Zosimus. And Zona. Z cell is forming. Okay. More about this. Let's see now. We have things to cover here because you're being inducted. So in the weeks and such following your operation down in Nevada, you're gonna get dead drops, you're gonna get special phones that are only for your own contact with A-Cell. You will have the protocol here is, and you have to follow strict communications protocol. It's very important. Within a given cell, you know who the other members of your cell are, obviously, and their personal names and everything. You're now Z cell, so even if you're spread out across the lands because FBI sends you in different places, if Delta Inc. calls up your cell, it's gonna be the four of you who are going to do things. Typically, one cell is sent to do things. It's gonna be unusual for you to do a collaboration with any other cell, in other words. Typically, you're only going to know members of other cells by code names. So either Miss Green just made up the sobriquet Miss Green because she was representing Delta Green when she approached you, or she is in G cell. Who knows?
It's Diana.
So you will know basically the code name of the leader of the cell above yours and the code name of the leader of the cell below yours. Since you are in Z, there is no cell below yours. There is only one above yours.
You're the last line.
Yeah, you're the last of the line. And that's gonna be Agent Yolanda, apparently. You are not going to use your names as nicknames. You can't use your names as part of any public-facing pseudonyms or false identity. They're used only within Delta Green to protect your own identity properly. Communications between cells is done through electronic mail whenever possible, using code names only. It's always encrypted and routed. This is where DeLuca gets... I'm just going to say that Delta Green is very happy to have another computer scientist on the gang. There's going to be a whole bunch of multiple anonymous computer servers so you can't track things. And needless to say, DeLuca, it's going to be an impressive infrastructure for sure. I don't know if you want to delve into that at all during the downtime. We'll get to that next session. Even perhaps nosy a little bit on it this session, but we'll do a proper downtime section next time. But the point is that they are good with computer security, and you can probably help out even more. Don't know how much you want to poke around with that. Phone contact is permitted, but your calls are supposed to be placed through an automated central encrypted telephone router. So if you have to call other agents outside your cell, you will either have to send an email to one of the servers or place a call to the router. And yeah. You only need to provide your code name of the desired recipient, like in the address of the email message or typing it into the telephone keypad if you're dialing, and then your communication is routed and encrypted automatically. And these phone and email servers and routers are as secure as possible. This is state-of-the-art stuff. And that's basically it for Delta Green signals, protocols, and regulations. Any questions on that?
I suppose it would be inappropriate then to try to track the calls from Diana.
You can, but you're gonna realize that it would be appropriate to try to track the calls from Diana through official FBI channels, yes.
Just, bitch, stop doing that. I'm like,
exactly.
I'm on board.
What are you doing? You're part of this now. We don't do that stuff.
I was nosy.
There are a couple of other points of order there. So you know now that there are agents of Delta Green in other cells. They're full level agents. They have all the Delta Green level clearance that they need to do the ops in the field. They have their code names, same as you, and so on and so forth. Obviously, some of them will be experienced and some of them will be less experienced. You guys are a cell full of rookies. Yay. Now, there is a second order of collaborators next to Delta Green. These people are known as friendly. Friendlies don't know the word Delta Green. And they must never know. They don't have clearance. They know that you're doing some very top secret, top beyond top secret, blacker than black stuff for the government that has to do with some really weird stuff. Friendlies have been involved and exposed to, at least sometimes, some of the friendlies have, the supernatural before, and have helped other Delta Green agents. During certain ops, you will be able to request backup from a cell to get a friendly to help you out with competencies that your cell does not have in-house. If they're available. If they're not, tough luck. But sometimes friendlies will be available and they will identify themselves as such or be identified as such by a cell, and that way you know that you can show them weird stuff. They're not gonna talk about the weird stuff. They're trusted. So that's a thing. What other things? Oh, yes. There are also the fun Christmas present box that you can sometimes make use of. The green box. Delta Green has a series of drop places, very cleverly masked as in your average self-storage facility. Like literally a rented box in a rented compartment in a self-storage facility somewhere. And if you happen to be in a major metropolitan area with a case, ACEL or whomever is your supervisor at the moment will be able to give you the keys to a green box, and you can go there and pick up whatever you think is going to help you during the case. The things that are in green boxes vary a lot, because anyone from any cell who has had any dealings in the city for the past 70 years could have deposited something in the green box. Use discretion, because some of the stuff in there could be less than safe. But it's a green box. There could be some goodies in there. You never know. And I think that is basically it for your initial briefing. You'll have your phones, you'll have your emails. You're going to have, the first time you're contacted by ACEL to go do something, you're going to get an invitation to go to a night at the opera. That is the Delta Green slang, Delta Green code for things that are about to go boom. And yeah, that's basically it.
So excited to see Talbot blow something up.
Questions on this?
Can we get matching tattoos?
Absolutely not.
If I happen to get a tattoo, I didn't tell you I was getting that tattoo, so it would just be a coincidence if you got a tattoo. We all get matching tramp stamps.
It'll be the green delta all in different directions on each person.
Absolutely. Let's see. Well, glossary. There we go. No? Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna copy and paste all the glossary for you to absorb, so you get the proper, including the proper Delta Green slang. Arcint, archaeological intelligence, occult and unnatural knowledge gleaned through archaeological research and ancient texts. Bronzons, Delta Green slang for those guys you saw, the Men in Black. EBE, extraterrestrial biological entities, a thing you just saw. And yes, Delta Green would call the guys not just Bronzons, but also MIBs. They're literally your Men in Black, yes.
We're gonna be really embarrassed when that movie comes out.
Probably a little bit, yes. When you're coming home, I'm assuming here that you're writing your final report in Phoenix, and after that you're gonna be back home on like Thursday or whatever. Maybe Friday. We're gonna have some meetings here because we can actually use the time for that before we get into the downtime stuff next session. But now we're gonna have some meetings between our. Fenton doesn't have one of these because you didn't hurt your. Oh, you hurt your Arcanum Society, so we need to have a meeting with that. Yeah.
Or my what side?
Yeah, your Arcanum Society. Yeah, you hurt that bond.
I think I'm the only one without hurt bonds.
I think so. Yeah. Fenton. It's gonna be probably maybe a week or something like that later. We're back up in the northeast now. And that's depressing. I don't know how Fenton is feeling after he's like, it's gonna be that trauma bonding that you had on the mission. And then you're decompressing down in Phoenix because you're filling out paperwork after having met with Miss Green and you're filling out the normal paperwork. But even before you leave, you're going to get a dead drop giving you all these instructions, and also the instructions to burn the stuff that you got on paper and just commit it to memory, including the phone and your email passwords and whatnot for the various routers. I don't know if DeLuca is going to be the handler of that. Is DeLuca going to handle Deltarine communications? You are the preeminent SIGINT person in the group, aren't you? And computer science group person.
Absolutely. Like, as soon as somebody else in the group tries touching a computer, I'm like, what are you doing?
That means that you get all the communications with ACEL, don't you? Not that you've had any so far, but in case you were to get some. And then, having filled out all the paperwork to Hobson's great delight and gotten these instructions, a couple of days later, you find yourself back up in the DC area. And it's summer, but it's definitely not desert anymore. Okay, apparently it's bad weather in DC right now. Who knew?
Just like real life.
Fenton, are we going up to meet the Arcanum Society? When are we gonna meet the Arcanum Society? I'm gonna give you at least a month after this up before the next one starts. Probably more. Not telling you exactly how long, because we'll deal with that next session.
I think he's actually just blowing them off.
Okay, so they're calling you up or emailing you. What is the usual modus of communication? They're old professors. They're calling you. They don't use fancy emails yet.
Right. Normally we get together for gatherings and discuss and talk and everything. It's just
Fenton, are you coming to the next meeting? Thursday night, 7.
he's not coming. He's not even answering. It's just after seeing 2 real things now and all of that. It's just. He doesn't, it's different for him now. Talking theory about such stuff is no longer as amusing after seeing actual horrors. Especially alien horrors and whatever the hell the freaking swamp man was.
You literally have the 1,000-yard stare now because you are adapted to violence.
He read that creepy book and everything, and maybe he'll attend one session. He's just really distant and doesn't want to talk or engage or anything. He's just, yeah.
Fenton, come on, we need your opinion on this. When you're talking, look here at the blackboard. We've summarized all. I'm sure you have something to contribute. You usually, what's going on? You're bright, young, says some of those folks, because they're, stodgy old professors. They're like in their 50s and 60s, some of them.
Yeah, and he's not going to snap because that's not his personality, but he's just not engaging, he's distant.
They're gonna be...
Got nothing to say, nothing to contribute.
Yeah. The wet blanket of awkwardness falls down over the meeting, and by the time the meeting is adjourned, 2 hours later, it's 9. One of the professors there is saying, "Hope to see you next time, Fenton. Please contribute next. We are always." There isn't a whole lot of young folks who are coming into this. We'd love to see you. You're representing the new generation here. Yeah.
Say goodnight and walk out to my car. Walk off the train.
All us baby boomers and silent... yeah. Have a good night anyway. Yeah. Cora Frying Talbot, when you are back in the DC area and Dad calls you, what's going to happen with that? It's not going to be a terrible severing of the bond here, but something is going to be a bit lashing out.
I think she's just mad at him for always judging her job for not being like a good manufacturing job, even though she has seen so much.
He's calling up. Hi, Phryne, how are you?
Bad. Really bad.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I always told you that going into the FBI, it's really how sexist is he? He's born 1940.
He's trying not to be, but still.
Sometimes
is-
it just slips out a bit.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I don't know if that is the right career for you, really. You need to have a certain metal. I don't like you seeing all these bad things that FBI... And I don't know if you heard, but there was like a huge manhunt in Arizona recently. And like serial
Yeah.
killer.
That was me, yeah.
That was you?
Yeah.
My little girl out in harm's way?
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder you're
done.
not feeling good. I don't like you having... My dad, he was out there fighting the Japanese. Was he? I don't know. And the stories he'd come home with didn't speak much about what happened in the war, but you could tell from his face. I don't want you to end up like that. Like firefights and stuff.
Right, it's a bit too late to back out now, but yeah.
It's too late for that now. You were in a firefight?
Yeah.
Yeah, being a complete boomer, Mr. Talbot has absolutely no idea how to respond to that. He's gonna nod, and you don't see him nodding, but there's a silence on the phone handle for a while, and like in the phone for a while, and then he's... So how's the weather up there? Like,
Still cold.
desperately pivoting to something else. Very desperate pivot. You can feel the tension through the phone line, can't you? Come on, you can come down, right? We're not
I'll
that
see.
far off,
I'll see what my schedule says.
right? You could do with some R&R. I'll fire up the barbecue. Get us some good burgers. I'll even get you your favorite beer. How about that?
I'll see what my schedule says.
Alright, you do that. Alright, now you take care. Friday, you hear?
I'll try.
Oh, it sucks. My dad fought the Japanese, and then now the Japanese are winning and taking all our factories. God damn it. Because he had to make it about himself at the end. Click. Sounds like you're all getting home to the best possible places. Erin has 2 wounded bonds, don't you? Bridget, both your mom and your younger brother.
Yes.
Double whammy!
I should imagine she came back. She's obviously messed up, and she was just like, nope, Sebastian. All I want is Sebastian. Everybody else, leave me alone.
Did everybody else know that you were down on the Arizona case file?
She wouldn't have told them exactly. She was just like,
Okay,
yeah, I was on a
so
case.
they don't know
It
about
was
that. 'Cause it
bad.
did make
Leave
the
me
national
alone."
news. Oh my god, what if one of them saw you on TV in the background when you were... Who was trying to speak to the press? Was that you? No.
I was running away from the press.
Okay. So
But,
that was
like,
actually Blair.
I was the one who was probably in the background, like, trying to drag Blair and Talbot into the building from the press.
Mom is gonna call you. The phone is gonna be off the hook going, yeah, are you ever answering when Mom is calling? She's gonna... So many messages on the answering machine. Bridget, really? You have to call me back. I need to know you. You can't lie to me. I saw you on TV. You were down there in Arizona fighting a serial killer. You need to tell me that you're safe and that you actually survived. They said several law enforcement officers were killed down there. I haven't heard from you at all. Are you just gonna leave your mom?
She calls her back when Sebastian makes her.
now we know why Erin is very angry with Bridget, because Mom doesn't like how it took several days for you to call her. She was like, she took pills, dang it. She took literal pills. I don't know, probably Xanax or something. Did Xanax exist in those days? I don't know. She called her doctor and got some tranquilizer pills just to be able to sleep, because she was so worried, and you didn't even call her, and now she, yeah. Ugh. Tony lives just across the hall from you, and it's all Sebastian all the time, so there will be knocks on the door, and Tony will want to, hey! What is his nickname for you? Is it Bry, or is it like
Bry, probably.
Bry, probably. Bry, come on. I know you're in there. I can hear your voices. Mom wants to know you're alive.
I'm alive. Go away.
But you were fighting a serial killer. I gotta know everything. Unlike Mom, he's not freaked out. He's give me all the goods and all the gory details, please.
Can't tell you things. It's government work. Shut up. Go away. You're 12.
I'm not.
Might as well be. Go. Shoo.
Come on, I just want to give my sister a hug.
Guilt. It's like, fine.
But it wasn't, was it? Because you snapped somehow.
And she's like, she like reaches out and gives him like a head pat. And good, I'm alive. I feel like he starts in an attempt to get her to like actually come out. He starts talking about what happened in upstate New York, which she still hasn't told Sebastian about. She goes out to the hallway and literally just starts smacking him upside the head, like.
Okay. God damn you, sis. Yeah, he's actually gonna flip you the finger, and there will be F-bombs involved. As he...
You're 12.
What is this chaos?
Yeah, this is chaos. And door slammed. Tony not happy with Bry at all. You suck.
Yeah.
Sebastian doesn't think you suck, though, and he's gonna give you a very nice welcoming as you come home. A very warm, nice, cuddly welcome. Probably a bath with some scented things and bath salts and stuff. And
this is why I talked to him and not my mom.
what was that?
So this is why I talked to him and not my mom.
Exactly. Sometimes it's a good thing to have a partner, right? Until it isn't anymore. But that's for a future session. Dr. Blair doesn't have any problems with relationships because she didn't have to break any or project onto any. And so it was that Z-Cell, okay, Delta Green is an American organization, I acknowledge that. Canadians have a different organization, with a much cooler name, by the way. Which ironically started out of the weather service, but it's Canada. Of course it did. But Z-Cell has now been constituted. And next time when we convene, we will deal with the downtime of Z-Cell trying to digest what happened in Arizona and get on with their lives. But now knowing that they are part of something greater, the thin green line that will protect everyone, their loved ones, all the citizens of the US, the government itself, from these preternatural threats. There is no one else out there. There's only you. And we'll see how this will affect our Delta Green agents. No longer just FBI agents, but now Delta Green agents in future operations. Congratulations and welcome to Delta Green, everyone. It only took us, what, 15 sessions to get to the actual organization? Something like that? I like to play the slow burn. And as always, people, if you want to follow the adventures of Z-Cell for you Americans, follow the channel Myth Machine, subscribe, ring the bell icon, and communicate through chat and comments on YouTube. And A-Cell is always watching. And we will see you in a week.